Well, then you should have said so. If you didn't call me out on something, I'm going to assume you want me to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so, and like I said, I've dealt with, directors that are just really very aware and conscious, but also some that they couldn't care less about what the actors were doing. I've even had them say, well, you just have to stand there and say the lines they tell you to. And it's like, well, then you don't know anything about acting.
But there are some big actors, too, that don't want to be directed. I'm friends with some very big actors, and they get offended. Like, if they didn't want me to, do what I do, Christopher Walken, why are they hiring me? It's like...
I see it's a collaborative process.
The fine line as a director that you have is how much
collaboration
you want to do and stuff like that. I mean, when I'm directing,
that's a direct vote.
I don't like to do much more than just adjust the energy and the volume. It's like,
Okay. But
that's like how bigger, louder, or softer, smaller.
You mean volume-wise, louder or bigger?
Yeah, because you can be quiet and be intense.
Absolutely.
And you can be quiet and be passive. And so that's kind of, if I have to do more than that, I start getting a little bit, I want the actor to give me something,
See, I see it as very collaborative, and I mean, as long as you're not, yelling at me or going, oh, you suck, or whatever. I have no problem taking credit. I've even said, they'll say, do you know what I mean? I'm like, no.
Give me a line reading.
And then I'll say, how do you, in your head, how do you see this going, or how do you hear it? And I've had them go, I don't want to offend you. I'm like, I don't know if it's because I'm just Midwest. I'm like, look, just say what you mean and mean what you say. If you got something you want to tell me. If I'm doing something wrong, tell me what you want me to do instead. You're not going to, like I said, as long as you're approaching it like we're all going in the same direction.
At the end of the day, you want to have a good product.
Yeah.
And if that means that you need to go, look, you were effing this scene up, then you need to do it. Like, tell me what it's the communication and treat me like a person and not a prop. And that's really all that's...
Yeah, it's just communication and respect. And that goes for not just directors and actors, but I think that there needs to be an awareness of everybody as contributing to the same thing. So whether you're emptying the garbage cans, directing, or acting, I mean, you're important.
Yeah, that's for sure. Does anybody have questions, by the way?
I was going to bring something up.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm an assistant director, so we have ways that we like to drive actors crazy. And one of the things people do is as he's improv, I'm improv, we will change that. We will change lines on set. That's not working. Here's what you're going to say now, and we will do that. Don't we? Fairly.
And that's what I'm amazed with Jordan back there is Jordan just needs to run lines twice, and then he has it.
Yeah.
And Rowan is probably only needs once, and then she has
It's
it.
like 2 or 3 times. We've had it.
It's amazing how quick they can go, and then how quick actors can adjust. I was wanting to make the point is I think actors, and what makes good actors is that they're really quick thinkers, and that is like a universal trait of good actors. The actor's never the slow guy in the room. They're always quick thinkers. They're right
You're all
there.
nodding.
Of course we are. Although there's a lot of shy people who act, and that's pretty remarkable.
That would be weird.
How would you?
Most people they see me in when I'm in a big group setting, I'm a spectator. So I like just sitting back and watching everyone. Everyone's like, "Are you having a good time? Are you having fun?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't necessarily like being the center of attention, but I also love being on stage and having fun." So I'm used to I'm used to memorizing a whole script and having that and not changing the lines. I go with that and I work with it from there. So people are really surprised when they see that.
I think it all really depends on the director of the film and what kind of set's being operated, because you can do all that stuff on the stage it's okay because it's all live, but in a film, it's like you may not have that freedom or that comfort. And I guess to go back to what you had asked earlier, if I'm going to work on a film, and luckily I have a group of friends. Oklahoma is a small community, and then we all, it's a group of people that care and we work on stuff. But if I work on an outside project, I have to make sure I'll look at the past films, I'll look at how many crew members they work with, I'll just look at all these things and see, because it doesn't matter how quick you are on your feet, if you're on a bad set, you can quickly be broken down, and then you're just you lose motivation, you're like, I don't want to be in this anymore. It really just depends, but then you can be on a set where I think it's great if you can get it, run it 1 or 2 times and you have the take, but I always think it's really fun when you can work a scene and really develop those moments that come through rehearsal. If you get it the first time, great, but you really learn a lot about your character the more you do it over and over and over, and you have these moments with another character and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can tweak this. That's what's good about the stage, doing it every night. You're like, well, that was kind of weird, I'll try it this way, and next night have a great night.
And going off of what you said, well, actually we've all said, how comfortable you are with a director, or the more you learn their style. I have a director that I work with, and sometimes they'll just say, after a take, okay, bigger, faster, better. And you go. Or it'll say, okay, ready, impress me. And it works. As an actor, sometimes you know, okay, here we go, bigger, faster, better.
Improv, I've noticed by far does not work. I'm sorry. It just doesn't 90% of the time. Even with the best of actors, they're the most experienced of actors, I just think it's a real problem, a hit or miss, and usually it's a miss, personally. So when you're talking about learning the lines, I've tried for myself is I try to really understand the script. I figure they're written for a reason that way.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't always flow off my tongue, I work it so that I try and make it. It doesn't always work, But particularly in the audition process, which is what I want to ask you guys next. How do you prepare for an audition? Everyone's got their own way, and I've changed it up so many times myself, and nothing always works. I have a theory about that, but I would like to. How do you guys prepare for auditions?
Well, for me, and what I've learned is you have to make a choice. And nothing's going to be right or wrong unless the director, which I think would be wrong, has a perfect, exact idea, in which case they're going through dozens to hundreds of actors until they find that exact thing. But as an actor, I found that you take the words, you make a choice, and you make it strong. And you go in there and you stay strong, you stay with that choice. And sometimes it's what they want, sometimes they just like the fact that you've made a bold choice. And that might be a casting difference.
Yeah. Oh, with me, I don't plan it this way, but oftentimes when I get assigned for an audition, I get at least two different ideas. I go with my gut for the first one, but then I go, maybe they mean this. And so I kind of work it out both ways, and if one really sticks with me and I say, yeah, I'm going to try just with that, but sometimes I show up and I say, well, what did you have in mind when you wrote it or you read this? Because I had two different thoughts on it. And sometimes I'll say, no, I definitely want this, or we'll try it both ways. Because sometimes, you're just getting a side without a whole context. You're not always sure where it fits inside a movie you've never read or seen before. And so sometimes I'll say, I'm seeing this as two different ways, what exactly? And then I'll adjust. And I know from when I've done casting before, we would oftentimes, when someone came in and they did their audition, we'd have them make adjustments, not because necessarily that's how we saw the character. We want to know you can adjust. We want to know you can make adjustments and take direction on set, because it's not going to be very helpful if you get an actor there who will always do the same thing no matter what you tell them.
But even if it's not what you want to just see.
I want to kind of play with it and see, because sometimes I've gone and gone, this is how I see this character, and they go, now that you say that, I can see from that side, but actually where it fits in and the rest of it is a little bit different. And you're going off of personal information, really, with the side.
Yeah, I think most casting is typecasting. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's rare that you win somebody over and they say, okay, then I don't believe it does.
Men usually care more. Sorry, this is a generalization. They care more about. I've been in when there are auditions. They go, but she's got the look. I'm like, they're the exact same size, height, everything. If you want her blonde, she can dye her hair blonder. I mean, that's like the easiest thing in the world to fix. But guys can't seem to get past the makeup and the hair and the clothes. And I'm like, trust me, you dye her hair blonde, stick her in those clothes, and put that red lipstick on her. They're going to look an awful lot alike.
Most people, I don't know how it is, I don't know where everybody's from Los Angeles. You have to so go in there looking the part. If you're auditioning, and for commercials even, if you audition in a breakfast scene, they want you to show up in pajamas. They actually ask you to do that.
And you show up and you're thinking, okay, I look exactly the part, I look exactly like it said Backstage West, and then you get there and there are 100 to 200 people that look exactly like you. Same hair, same pajamas, same
The way to win them over is with an essence. You know, if you can give the essence of that sweet mom, even though you look like a hooker, you know, you can go in there and give them that essence, then you have a chance. You know, you have to know also when to take the
I think that's the difference too, because like here, you know, we're filming mostly in southwestern Indiana and western Kentucky, and I'm like, look, find someone who's a good actor, who's a good fit for this part, and then ask if they're willing to cut their hair. Ask if they're willing to wear, because if you're seriously going to pass on the best actress for this role, or best actor for this role, because you don't like their hair cut, but a lot of times men go, but she looks like it. So I know the other, she's like the third or fourth best, but she's got the perfect hair, or she's got the perfect, you know, whatever, and I'm like, the women are going, that's the easiest thing in the world to fix. Dye your hair, cut it, put on a bunch of makeup, stuff something in her bra, and you're done. You know, I mean, get the best. You know, when I'm casting, I want the best person for the job.
Yeah. Although the best sometimes isn't always get it. As actors, you know that. The best doesn't for that reason, or there could be other reasons.
Well, and I think back to preparing for the audition, aside from preparing your, I guess what you wear and what, you know, and what your choices that you're making as an actor, you also have to prepare for the fact that there's a really strong possibility that you are not getting this part. Like, you need to prepare for the fact that you will probably be rejected because you're rejected way more than you get the part. And you have to be ready to not let that beat you, because that's the hardest part, is to keep auditioning and have no happen way more than yes happens, and doors slammed in your face, and you have to just be ready to be like, you know what? And even if it's a total lie, even if you went in there and you blew that audition really badly, you need to come out and be able to be like, there are probably hundreds of reasons why I didn't get the audition. Maybe I did get what they wanted, but I didn't look right. I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't available on the right day. I look like the director's sister. I look like the director's ex-wife, and he doesn't want me around. You know, like, so you need to be prepared to pick yourself back up and go do it again, or 100 times more before somebody says yes.
Actors are the most resilient people. We love to call them divas and make fun of them and how dramatic they are. For you, you're not a diva, right? but really, we are the strongest people. We have the thickest skin. You know, a lot of people, if you just, I mean, how many times have we like looked at a guy sideways by accident and they took it the wrong way, and it's like, oh my God, you know, they're all upset now. It's just, we are so strong. People love to make fun of us, but we're really the strongest people out there.
And I think I had an advantage coming to it from, I didn't realize I wanted to act, and I was helping with casting. And that's when I decided I wanted to know how to act. So I remember doing casting where someone comes in and they're like, a fantastic actor. But he's not fantastic for that part. But we're like, remember them, because we got something coming up that because they showed up on time for their audition, were professional, courteous, and they were prepared and did a good job. You may not get that part because you weren't right for it, but I'm damn well going to call you up when there is something that you're right for.
And that's, I mean, since I write, and I don't like to audition, I like to cast it before I even start writing the first word. But what has happened a lot of times is that I see people in kind of smaller roles, which I have not done that for in prior film, and then you go, wait, that person can handle something much larger, and I wrote it for them. You know, I was like, that's good. I'm gonna write for her, and that's how. I mean, I think